What's up, Foul Territory family? What a year it was. It's the season recap show. Great shirts. FoulTerritoryShop.com over there. Santa Eric Kratz. So as we're reminiscing, very nice, Chevy. As we're reminiscing, first off, quick thought from each of you on your favorite interview or favorite interview moment from the past year, or at least one that sticks out because I'm putting you on the spot.
You're going me first?
Sure.
I'm doing Tarek Skubal. I'd heard about Tarek Skubal for a long time, and then I got to meet him in spring training in Lakeland. And I believe it was our first spring training stop of the year this year. And he walked in and sat down next to me, and I was like, whoa, this dude is a monster. And then I picked him to win the Cy Young. Mm-hmm. So it carried over, and then he went out and won it. But just the way he talked, what he talked about, the confidence he had when he walked into the room, and then just seeing him in person and listening to his teammates. For me, it was early in the year, but it was Tarek Skubal.
It's hard to put, make ex-big leaguers or even current big leaguers like in awe. So for AJ to be in awe of Skubal, that meant something. For me, it was when Kevin Pillar, came on, like legitimately still in his car with his stuff packed up when he got released from the White Sox. And it was like, to me, this is why we have the show. This is a inside look at something that happens all the time, but fans never get to see it. So for him to be able to do that and be honest and raw about what's next in his career in a time when he shouldn't have gotten released, but he landed on his feet, and it was just credit to him for taking that time out to come on our show.
On that same note, for me, Kike Hernandez around spring training when he signed and he was pissed. Check it out. You can look up all of these conversations if you just type the name in Foul Territory if you're on YouTube. Kike was just straight real talk for a while. He was clearly happy to be with the Dodgers, breaking down exactly why he chose the Dodgers, but then also smashing the free agent system and how he was treated like crap during it, and he took it out on everyone during the playoffs. So it's really good. That's stuff you're getting here and nowhere else. If you're getting somewhere else, let me know, because I couldn't find it. That's why we started this show. All right, let's charge the damn mound.
Charging the mound.
On this show, we're going to go over individual performances, and then we'll do team performances on the next recap show. So what's one that stands out for you, AJ, where you're like, I'll always remember this?
From this year?
Yeah.
I mean, Ohtani, 50-50.
That's a good one.
I mean, it's simple. 50-50, we've never seen it before. And the fact that he did it after signing the contract, and he didn't even get to pitch, winning another MVP, but 50-50. We thought Acuna, what he did last year was unbelievable, but for Ohtani to go 50-50 and over 50-50, to me, will never be forgotten.
Mm-hmm. Man, that game, too, when he said it, and then that baseball turns into $4+ million future documentary on the fight for it.
Mm-hmm.
That was a crazy game in Miami for Shohei Ohtani. The combination, Kratz, of the individual accomplishment with the individual performance in that game alone. What do you have, 10 RBIs in that game? 6 for 6, 3 homers. Yeah. Obviously, one of them was against the position player.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. He did plenty against real pitching all season. All right, what's your moment or guy, who stood out?
To me, it was more of a team. And it was more of the fact that we had some teams really step up this year. Royals step up after losing 106 games. They went out and spent money, and they made the playoffs. Like a bad team the year before spent money and made the playoffs. This is what we talk about all the time on this show. How are other teams like, you know what, let's not make the playoffs? Because when they don't spend money, that's essentially what they're telling their fan base, and they're telling their current players, like, we don't really care about making the playoffs. And as a player, you want to make the playoffs and win a World Series every single year of your career.
Mm-hmm. Can I point out a few others for you guys that stood out? We're doing individuals here. Freddie Freeman, walk-off home run, game 1 of the World Series.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Yep.
Everything about it. Obviously, Freddie's playing with the hurt ankle. He ends up having just a ridiculous power run for a player who's got power in his game, but it's not the main, focal point of his game, whatever you want to call it. Just so clutch for the Dodgers, and really a brilliant signing by the team.
Yeah.
They took him from the Braves, Everyone thought he was going to be a Brave for life. They were getting a little tight on negotiations, and he ends up going to the Dodgers. Of course, little deferrals in that deal, but Atlanta certainly could have kept him, and they should have kept Freddie for him. That was the guy. That was your next Chipper of this generation.
Yep. Agreed.
No, you should comment. I mean,
Freddie should have been the old battle axe like Chipper was.
Yeah.
Should have been there forever, but things change, and he went to LA, and now he's got another World Series ring.
And the decision, of course, to bring Nestor Cortez from Abyss into that game after he'd been hurt for a while definitely was a costly one for the Yankees and their script, their game plan from the front office.
There was a lot of guys that had really good years. I know we're talking Shohei and we're talking Freddie in moments, but Paul Skeens hitting the ground running. Right?
That's a great one.
Huge. Him and Livy Dunn, whatever they do, is everywhere. Those two people are everywhere. I mean, there was a lot of things that stood out, and then we can't get off the air without talking about the Game 5 and the Yankees' incompetence on defense.
There's specific players who messed up.
There's too like this is individual.
We're going over individuals.
There are too many people that we could talk about. I mean, Aaron Judge drops a fly ball. Garrett Cole doesn't cover first base. Jazz Chisholm and Volpe with that play. Rizzo not go. I mean, it can just goes on and on. I mean, basically, the whole Yankees defense. It was just one of those innings that happens, and they couldn't recover, and they lost the World Series. But I mean, that's the way we ended the year. And that's something that Dodger fans and Yankee fans, because the Dodger fans won't let them ever hear the end of it, will never forget.
Kratz like drunks.
Running bases like drunks. I feel like we always have to keep Judge out of it. It was the only ball he dropped all year. Took his eye off it, dropped it. I get it. It was all part of the –
You can't keep – that's what started it.
Guys, hold up.
No. That's what started the whole thing.
Wait. I'm gonna use
I get it.
Okay.
Bill Buckner. No, I'm just kidding.
Let's pick another sport to do a comp. NBA, okay? LeBron, MJ, whoever it is, right? Fast break to win the game. Right? All they have to do
so take his name out of your mouth, Scott.
Lay the ball into the basket. Is that not the equivalent? A layup for an NBA player, uncontested. Is that not the equivalence of a routine fly ball to center field? No?
No. It happens. Guys drop the ball.
It never happens.
It almost never happens.
That was a choke job. I'm sorry.
He missed it. It sucks. Happens. He missed it at the wrong time. Listen, we all like Aaron Judge, but it sucks. He
knows it.
He choked.
There's no excuse.
He didn't choke. You know what? He didn't choke. He made a mistake at the worst time.
He made a mistake. Happens. Yes. I agree.
Okay. By the way, take MJ's name out of your mouth. He ain't never missing that layup.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But if an NBA legend missed a layup, you would talk about it forever to win the game. It's a moment in time. Even if there's plenty of other great moments, it was a moment in time. I have a couple others. For me, this is not one that might stand out to the national baseball audience, but I like to be able to tell people stories about how baseball is different. Sean Manaea helped me with that because I was like, here's this dude, big lefty, talented for years, very up and down though, and hadn't really reached his potential. And then I just picture him in the dugout being like, oh, that guy, I like that. Chris Sale, I'm going to try that.
That's what he did.
And then all of a sudden he becomes
legitimately
a 1.
What he did.
But he was a 4, and he just mimicked Sale and became a 1.
Yeah.
See, that you don't get anywhere else.
Sale legitimately, he saw Sale pitch, and he goes, I'm going to try that tomorrow.
That was so good.
In his bullpen, and then he went on that incredible run. And even into the postseason, he was really good. So
that was cool.
It was cool. And then all the shots, crossfire, and it's awesome.
I love like that. That's how like guys in the game, elite talents do that stuff. And that when you said that, Scott, I saw you on the screen and I'm like, we can't not give Elly De La Cruz a shout out for his 67 stolen bases. And other managers came out and said, he's not actually that good at base running. Like he gets bad jumps and he still steals those bases. I know base stealing is changed, all that stuff. Everyone would have stolen 100 bases had they had the chance. Well, they don't. But electric players need to be celebrated. Doesn't mean they're the best. It just means it's fun to watch. And people turn on the game to watch Elly De La Cruz play.
All right, and then last one's for me on the negative side. The 2 Pirates players that got screwed over by management, Rowdy Tellez and Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. You can look up those stories. We talked about them plenty. They didn't want to pay them on incentives, and it's just a terrible look. And then lastly, rookie Wyatt Langford, the worst modern strikeout you've ever seen, and it ends up eventually leading to Angel Hernandez retiring. We hammered it on this show. It was getting out of hand. So we'll leave it at that, but those ones stand out. We've talked plenty about those topics, so you can look up in the past either on the app if you're watching on TV or hit us up on YouTube or socials. Yep, last word.
Can't forget Oakland playing their last game. This is a historic season that they're playing
That's
their
a
last
team
game.
thing, Kratz. He's not following the rules.
No, he doesn't listen very
Dude,
well.
you're completely off on the rules. The rules for this segment
It's individual.
Individual. And you're such a team guy, but this is the individual segment. Next show, we'll go over the team segment. So when we swing back, we're going to get to some of our favorite FT conversations, which include the Manager of the Year winners. And Kratz is going to learn the difference between me and team. The winner of National League Manager of the Year in his first year taking over the Milwaukee Brewers is Pat Murphy. Oh, man, he is stylish. Look at him. Once he wins an award, now he looks like Kratz and AJ joining us on FT. Congrats, Murph. What's up, dude? I like the hat.
Yeah, I haven't changed clothes in about 70 hours, so I'm looking forward to, after this is over, taking a shower and, starting to look like an older
You're just
man.
grinding away, or what? I mean, why would you?
Yeah.
I mean, I know you've taken a shower in the last 7 minutes, but it was a nice thought. But what do you have to do in the offseason now? You made the playoffs, you won the division, you got Manager of the Year. So now all you do is sit back, eat some bonbons, and put your feet up.
Yeah, that's not quite how it goes, but yeah. You don't seem worthy of knowing the real truth. You know what I mean? Your perspective is so far off.
Well, I know one thing you're doing.
How did the game go? How did the little man's game go the other day?
They just practiced last night. They have agility today at 1:30, early release at 12, agility 1:30 as a group, and then practice. Or we have a game tomorrow night, and then a tournament on the weekend.
Agility.
For 10-year-olds. How old is he?
Isn't that called
10?
Isn't that called playground?
No, it's don't become Kratz or AJ. Get some agility.
I was spry. Listen, Murph, I was spry. I'm still spry.
I watched you in high school. Remember that. I watched you in high school.
Exactly.
Remember that.
Where were you then? Because you weren't at Notre Dame yet, and you weren't at Arizona State. So where were you then?
No, I was at part of it. I was at Notre Dame, and then transitioned. What year were you? What was your senior year in high school?
1994. I know you weren't at Notre Dame because you followed Maneri at Notre Dame, didn't you?
No, Maneri followed me. I was.
My bad.
I was 94, leaving Notre Dame to go to Arizona State when you were down in Florida, trying to catch.
Oh, trying. That was a good
trying to catch.
Oh, but listen, if Paul Maneri, I'll say this: if Paul Maneri would have been at Notre Dame my senior year, he was at Air Force Academy at the time. If he would have been at Notre Dame, I would have signed with Notre Dame. He was one of the most impressive human being coaches I ever talked to. So, nice. And he tried to get me to Air Force, but I didn't really fit in the jet very well, so I couldn't go there.
Too big. Hey Murph, cool. I have a question for you. So let's try and get on track for at least a few minutes with Manager of the Year. So you had a great line that you sent Sal Frelick, right? That was to Sal when he won Gold Glove. And I saw that clip. We ran it on the show. It was epic. It was so good. So you got to give me one or two texts that you've gotten in the past 24 hours from someone that really tried to bring it.
No, I got a lot of texts, I can promise you. Trying to think of some special ones, but Pedroia he's got special texts that I can't repeat. Andrew Friedman sent me a pretty. We got into like me going to Korea, and then he said North or South, and I said, well, at least in North Korea, it's all home games, and he threw out, well, Dennis Rodman could be your bench coach. So it it was pretty epic.
I have to go to your bench. I have to go to your bench coach because Matt Arnold, when you won it, Matt Arnold texted me right afterwards, and he said, "I thought Ricky Weeks was the manager this year."
Oh, Ricky Weeks is a pretty special guy, man. He'll be a manager very soon, I promise you.
What does it mean for you guys to lose out on Walker McKinven? You lose out on part of your staff. I know your whole staff is pieces for you guys to have the success that you have and for you not to miss anything as the head honcho. What does it mean to miss out on? Because we just talked to Will Venable yesterday, and he's going to be Will Venable's bench coach.
Yeah, I mean, Walker's magnificent. He's been behind the scenes for a long time, and you remember since we put him on the field and put him in the dugout, he's continued to make strides. I mean, he's not that young, but he seems young. He looks young, but he really understands the major league game. He's a ruthless decision maker. He's got a lot of great talents, and I love Will. Being around Will for a year, I love him, and I think that combination is going to be lethal. I think the White Sox are moving in the right direction for sure. And it's gonna hurt us. There's no question. Walk only has 9 fingers, so we will be able to get a 10-fingered guy in there. But it'll be a great challenge to replace him.
Wait, how many coaches have you lost this offseason? Because you lost him. Didn't you lose Quentin Berry? You lost Jason Lane?
No.
Who else? Is there more people that are Lane's still with you?
Yep. Q Berry and Walker, 2 keys, real keys to our deal. I mean, they both were impact coaches.
How come they both left Milwaukee for Chicago? How come they both left Milwaukee for Chicago?
It's close.
Well, I mean, Walker got a bigger position, and Q got a bigger position, and he got the pension, and it's big move, big market, big move, big time coach. Q Berry special.
Murph, you're one of 10, I think, award winners of the managerial award that never played in the big leagues. Does it mean more to you that you never played in the big leagues and you're still able to ascend to just being a manager, let alone winning manager of the year?
Yeah, I mean, I mean, let's be honest. I respect the award. But as we know, the award is a team award, an organizational award, a staff award. So I mean, and the relevance of playing in the big leagues or not, like, I don't know, like there's probably some NBA coaches that didn't. I don't know. There's probably a couple NFL coaches that didn't, that won some Super Bowls. So I think, I mean, I don't think that really matters, to be quite honest with you. But that's a long time ago. There's a lot of guys doing brain surgery that never had a brain tumor. So, I mean,
that's good. I am proud of you. Congrats on the award.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
whatever you're doing, it's working. In all seriousness, because I mean, these segments are epic. But I mean, you took over first year here. You cruised through the division. I know you didn't get where you wanted in the playoffs, but only one team wins. You guys have a lot of promise for the future, and you won Manager of the Year, whether you like it or not. So, congratulations, Murph. You want to announce it? I mean, he heard it last week, but the American League Manager of the Year award goes to
my friend Stephen Vogt.
Yeah.
Good job, Stephen.
Congratulations.
Yay!
Yeah, it took you so many. Oh, wait, it's his first year on the gig, and he already got it. That is impressive. Great to have you on, dude. Seriously, though, congrats. How's the week been? Enjoying what you just went through, which you should.
Yeah, no, thank you, guys. Thank you, Eric. I appreciate you announcing it for me. And no, it was a really cool honor. Obviously, you know, as it was alluded to, it is very much an organizational award. And I know that, you know, being in this position is something I'm super proud of and having a blast doing, but really cool recognition for what the work that our players and our staff did.
Voter, you know that like when when we played and dudes were like having like years like Yelly and he was an MVP, you're like, man, I wonder when he's going to get called up to the next league. When are you going to get called up to the next league to coach and be a head coach of a team up there?
Hopefully never. I really love where I'm at, and obviously still have work to do. Still have work to do, man. There's a lot of people on our team that should get called up. I think Jose Ramirez, Manuel Clase, and Cade Smith, they could definitely play in 5A. They'd survive up there.
Okay, good call. Good call. Way to coach them, though. You really coached your face off, especially since you guys made it all the way to the American League Championship Series. That was neat for you. Was that better managing or playing going through the playoffs?
It's a lot. There's a lot more pressure when you're playing. As a manager, you don't feel that pressure because at the end of the day, you're making decisions to put your guys into good positions. And so there's nothing that I can really go out and do. So it's just putting full trust into the players. And man, they had a great year, and we came up short from where we wanted to be, but it was so much fun watching those guys play all year long.
And that's funny that you say that, because a lot of people will say, man, coaching is a whole different ball game, and I'm nervous doing this and that. You got to make the right calls, the arguments you got to make. You got to figure out what you're doing with the bullpen. So again, I'm going to ask you, who had no nerves while you were coaching, or were there something going on in there?
There's a ton. It's like the duck sitting on the top of the pond. The legs are going like crazy on the inside, but honestly, there's different pressures that you feel. And I felt like going into the playoffs, the prep work that we put in ahead of time, we didn't get caught off guard very often. We were prepared for everything. And, you make some decisions and they work, and like, oh, look how smart he is. You make one decision, it doesn't work, and it's look how dumb he is. So you just have to trust the people around you and trust your process. And that's what we did all year long.
And you kind of alluded to this a little bit, talking about bringing some guys up or whatever it was, but to 5A now, I want to ask you a couple questions. What you guys think you need to improve on in the offseason so you guys can get over that hump? Is there some guys in the minor leagues, or do you see your team making a couple moves this offseason?
I think obviously, Chris Antonetti, Mike Chernoff, and Matt Foreman, they're some of the smartest people to do what they do, and they're always looking to make our team the best possible. So I'm sure we're talking and trying to make some moves, but at the end of the day, we love our roster, and we got almost everybody coming back. We were able to sign Hedgie back, which was huge, because those backup catchers, Kratzy, can't just find them anywhere. They're special breeds. So, get that going. And then, for us, I think what it really is our starting pitching. I think, you look at our year, and we had a number of guys just, for whatever reason, not have the year they were capable of. So for us, we're working really hard with our guys to have great winners to come into spring, and we're hoping everybody takes a step forward and we just build upon what we accomplished last year.
Don't talk about backup catchers like you know what that is. You're a starter. You're an all-star. You're going out on your own.
For 2 years, and then I was a backup. Come on.
No. Look, they don't give all-star appearances out to backups, okay? But
okay.
I have to say, you're an all-star person, whether you were a starter or you were a backup. Did you do as good this year in your first year managing as you thought you would? Because back in 2018, I'm going to give FT fans a little insight. Voter was hurt, like career-ending shoulder, and he didn't even have that great an arm before his shoulder surgery. And then when he hurt his arm, it was even worse. But it looked like you were going to be done. And you were going around, you had your notebook. You had your notebook that you were writing all your stuff down in. Then you go through your notebook as you almost got the job with the Giants, and then Bo Mel just absolutely undercut you. And then you get to go to the Guardians, and you're the manager of the Guardians, something that you had essentially been working for your entire career, but also like towards the end of your career. Did you do as good this year at what you wanted to accomplish as you thought you would?
That's a really good question. I'd say I came close. You never want to feel satisfied with the job you did. You never want to feel like I've got it figured out. I'm always trying to learn. And I think for me, the prep work that I put into this really was since 2009. And I really wanted to do this for a long time. I leaned on a lot of people in my life. I asked way more questions to every manager and coach I ever had than they probably wanted. I asked teammates questions. I asked front office. I just was curious to learn. And that continued this year. The Cleveland organization, and our coaching staff, I leaned on them a ton because I didn't know everything I was experiencing was for the first time. And so they helped me get through a lot of the tough things. And, really at the end of the day, the game was the fun part. The other stuff day to day, you're learning all the time about different things and learning your people. And so I would say I did close to as good as I wanted to do, but we didn't win that last game of the year. And that's really what the goal is.
Okay, that's the goal. So we're going to go to that. We watched, obviously we're close to Philly here in Jersey. We watched, Jeff Hoffman give runs up. We watched Matt Strahm give runs up. We watched Devin Williams give up a home run that ended up costing his team a chance to advance. You went to Emmanuel Clase, a guy who gave up, I think, 5 runs on the season, and he gave runs up. Now when you get back, because that's your goal, you want to get back to the playoffs to make the World Series and eventually win, how do you keep that out of your mind? How do you keep that, okay, this guy was the most dominant reliever in the game this year, but I know what he did. I know what happened when old boy from Detroit that pulled his hamstring in the end hit that dinger, and then and then Judge hit those home runs against him. How do you keep that out of your mind, and how do you build Class A up for next year?
I keep going back to one, baseball's hard. Everybody you're watching on TV drives a nice car. They're all really good at what they do. And for me, I don't care when it is. I don't care what the situation is. If there's 3 outs to get for a win or to extend the game, I want Manuel Clase on the mound over anybody else. This guy's one of the best pitchers on the planet. He had his regular season was a dream. I mean, there was not one, maybe 2 times where it was high pressure. I mean, it was 9, 10, 11 pitch saves every night, it seemed like. And so you're going to give him the ball again. And I can't wait to give him the ball again next year if we're fortunate enough to get there. And it's one of those things where baseball's hard. Things happen. When you look back at his playoffs, the reality is he made a really good pitch to Judge, and Judge does what Judge does. And he hung 3 sliders. That's literally what happened. And that can happen to anybody. And when it's in a microscope like that, it's going to stand out. But Emmanuel Clase is going to get the ball in the 9th with the game on the line as long as we're together in Cleveland.
Who's the MVP of this team, not named Jose Ramirez, in the lineup?
Oof.
You got to pick one of your favorite. I know which one of your kids is your favorite. You don't have to say that on here, but it's one of your kids on the team. Which one's your favorite?
Well, I'm not going to say he's my favorite, but if I have to pick an MVP not named Jose Ramirez, I'd probably go Stephen Kwan. Just with what he brought at the top of the order, the consistency and getting on base and being that spark plug. You're making me only pick one, which is really hard, but I'm going to stick to it because I'm a rule follower. No, Kwani showed some old school hitting where he could take whatever the pitcher gave him, and if he made a mistake, it was leaving the yard. And the season that he had was super impressive.
Voter, thanks for the time. Thanks for putting up really with Eric Kratz for 15 minutes. Really respect that a lot. You kind of took him away from me for 15 minutes, which is nice, like babysitting. But anyway, congratulations again, man, on the award, and we'll catch you again down the road, okay? Appreciate it.
Right. Sounds great. Good to catch up with you guys.
The golden at-bat rule. What do you think of it? Have you heard of it? And would you be pissed if that was your spot in the lineup and Shohei gives you the old tap on the shoulder and is like, hey, Max, I got you on this one?
First, let me say I don't think that belongs in baseball. Now that that's being said, the rule is it's a little interesting. I'm not going to lie, but I don't think it belongs in baseball. Maybe like maybe more like a Savannah Bananas type thing. But it is an interesting idea. I'll give them that, but I don't want to see it in a big league game.
Real quick, I got to ask you about this because you are a fellow reliever, and it's another rule change that has been mentioned that will affect relievers more than anybody else because it seems like they all do. The golden at bat rule. I don't know if you've read up on it.
Hogwarts.
Yeah.
The golden squid. You'll switcheroo, bring somebody else in and give them 160 more at bats and just screw every record up in the books.
Yeah,
Hey,
I mean, I'm all for it.
Aaron Judge in 160 extra at bats. How many home runs do you think he'd hit?
A billion.
Well, let's figure this out. I want to know. Are you like me? Because I in my last year in 2023, I had to intentionally walk 5 people, 3 of which were Shohei Ohtani, and it drove me crazy. Right? I hate intentionally walking somebody. So yeah, of course, getting the guy slotted in. You and I the way we pitched was we were usually facing those guys anyways.
Yeah,
they usually lined it up. So if you came up, they're like intentionally walking, you could just be like, get back in there. We're doing this, you and me, and you use it that way. I love it for that way. What do you feel?
Person. Hey, here's your golden rule. Take your base. Suck it. I would not. What are you going to say? Oh, sorry, we get one challenge. Okay, challenge again. I'll walk the bases loaded before letting you put Soto or whoever else in there multiple times. I think the interesting thing is this is like you would have your run of guys that we were talking about, and let's say a lefty comes in and gets Soto, just World Series speaking, and then here comes Judge, Stanton, and then Chisholm, and I think Volpe. So I would come in for, I face Soto, but let's say ideal run for me would be somebody like Judge and Stanton because of the right on right matchup. So somebody gets Soto out. You almost could barter and say, well, I'll just walk Soto because if he's on first base, you can't golden rule him, right? Mm. Would that be is that a thing? I don't know. Something to think about. But let's say you get him out and all of a sudden they're like, nah, I want instead of Chisholm, I'm going to go ahead and bring Soto back. To me, you should be able to bring in a lefty for one batter then. Like
exactly. Get rid of the 3 batter. That's what I said. Yeah.
Yeah. If anybody's ever looked at the back of a baseball hat, there's a logo. It's all over the place. It's Major League Baseball's logo, and it's not a pitcher. And it's that way for a reason because every rule is geared towards helping a hitter. And we can talk about these, new video technology that every team has in the clubhouse with like, you can watch a freaking full-size image of me throwing every pitch with these machines that spin at whatever clip. And they can go, I'm assuming, before games. I don't know how it works in game, but before games and get as many reps off of Blake Trinan or Trevor May or whoever at my sinker or slider. And, oh, hey, dude, hey, I don't get those reps off hitters. I'll say that right now. I don't even get an iPad in the bullpen. You guys get iPads. You get all these numbers and like life-size deliveries. Like, it's interesting. Hey, move it back to 64 feet next time. That's the next thing. Let's talk about that. I just want
if you're in New York, you can't even see the game in the bullpen. So, like, you can't even see what's happening.
I know. Well, and if you tried to, you'd have beer cans thrown at your head. So,
yeah, good point.
Yeah. I mean, I'm thinking
they're not. Listen, they're not changing football for the kickers. Okay, like let's just be realistic with what.
Are you equating kickers to relievers?
I say it all the time. Relievers are the field goal kickers of baseball. I mean, the whole game is heated, and then we mess up one pitch, guy hits a dinger, and it's our fault. You
either do your job or you mess it up. Those are the 2 options.
You know what? If you don't
like it, they'll find somebody else. So either dwell in the chaos that is the success and failures of being a reliever, or go check bags at Walmart. I don't know.
Buster's unfiltered opinion of the golden at bat.
Okay, so back in '95, when Bud Selig, suggested we go to a wild card, I thought that was terrible. It was great. I was totally in favor of the pitch clock, and I thought that was great. That turned out to be great. It can work. Some of these ideas can be great. I think the ghost runner, as much as a lot of old school baseball fans don't like it, I think it's great for the players. And I've had too many conversations, or so many conversations with players who, when we go to the 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th inning, the dominoes of that, I think it's been great with the ghost runner. This is so contrived and so out of the norm of what the sport is, I can't stand it. And I hope they bury it as quickly as possible.
Do you know what the golden at-bat rule is?
Oh, gosh, yeah, I saw it the other day.
Okay, go ahead.
There you go. Not a fan. I mean, I get it. It'd be exciting, but I don't know. I'm a traditionalist, so I don't like the idea. I don't think it belongs. It kind of takes away from, just the regular idea of what 1 through 9. And what about that guy that needs that at bat? Maybe he wants the at bat. It's I think it's crazy. That's what pinch hitters are for. That's why you have bench players. But I can't control that, so we'll see what happens. I hope it doesn't happen, but what are you going to do?
Let's assume it's in place. Under what conditions is it in place? You walk Aaron Judge intentionally? Okay, we'll use the golden at bat right now. He's up again. Do we have the possibility of Do we have the possibility that someone could become the first guy in history to homer back-to-back with himself? You're down by 2. He homers. Now you're down by 1. We'll let him bat again. It's the 9th inning. Or do they put in a provision that says you cannot bat twice in the same inning unless the team bats around to your place in the batting order? You have to be 3 or more, let's say, your place in the starting lineup has to be 3 or more places removed from where you're used as the golden at bat. Can you only use it in the 9th inning and only if you're trailing? Or can you use it anytime you want from the 7th inning on? Just for the sake of parlor games, if it's in place, it offers a lot of strategic things to argue about and debate. Hey, 7th inning, we're up by 1. Bases loaded. Should we just use it right now and try and bust the game open? Or should we save it? Do you use it with nobody out and the bases loaded? Nah, we'll score anyway. Sacrifice fly, whatever. You use it with 2 outs and the bases loaded? I mean, it's interesting from that standpoint. Does it turn the game into kind of a video game and kind of gimmicky? Yeah, I think so.
Mr. Met. Is that going to be his new nickname?
It better be. It better be for the amount he got paid. He better be more than that. He better be the mascot. He better be the manager. He better be driving the bus. He better be flying the plane.
How many titles?
He better win a few, because I'm sorry, but
if he
I need 2.
Titles,
I need 2 at Luke. I'm good with 2. It's hard. Listen, AJ knows it. Some of my favorite players didn't win a World Series. If he can get 2, and I think this is why he's chose the Mets. Money talks. Clearly, he got paid a bunch. But I think he chose the Mets for bigger reasons than just the money. I think he wants to win, and I think he feels like Stevie Cohen is going to put him in the best situation to win.
He chose the Mets for one reason and one reason only. It's exactly what I said he was going to do.
Most money.
He took the most money. Mm-hmm. He didn't give a crap about nothing else, because if he really cared and he wanted to worry about his legacy, he would have stayed for the Yankees for like $5 million.
Why? He's not the man in the
Why? Why? And they haven't won since 2000. Why?
I'm just saying, he was already there. They went to the World Series.
Excuse me, 2009.
Yeah, but still, I think that he went for the money. That's it. He was going for the highest bidder. I said it from the beginning. He was going the highest bidder, and he went to the highest bidder. Now, I also heard there was
$750 million, though, AJ. I'm just like, after $750 million, it's $750 million. So it's like, I hear you.
I don't know. I just think it's a lot. Listen, I want every player to get every dollar they can, but my question is it worth it? If you're the Mets, if you're Steve Cohen, I know he's got more money than any other owner, but is this worth it? Is it worth it, Scott? I know you're going to say yes, he got a $75 million signing bonus. That's higher than the White Sox and the A's have paid for any player in their history.
You sound like an owner.
These are just facts. I'm not saying. I'm always for the players to get every cent they can get. I'm fine with it. I don't know.
I think you guys are looking at it wrong. Okay. Well, first off, Steve Cohen's worth about $22 billion. Aaron Gleeman put this one out, our buddy who covers the Twins. He said signing Soto is the equivalent of someone with a net worth of $100,000 spending $3,500, which is like, 2 months rent for somebody making $100,000 maybe? This is a joke. And this is a guy who doesn't have to worry about milking profits from the franchise. He has other businesses.
I understand
This is for fun. This is what sports should be, for fun. Pretty big contract for Juan Soto. Your thoughts?
Yeah, you can't escape it. No, it's awesome, man. I think it's awesome. It's awesome for Juan Soto. First off, I mean that's in his family, like that's pretty cool. Like he's earned it. Guy's a once in a generation type of hitter. And I think it's good for baseball. I was listening to you guys right before this, so it's you guys all bring good points, but I think it's good for baseball, right? And it's good for the Mets. They're pushing all their chips in, and happy for Juan and his family.
Matty, my brother, I'm happy to have you on. Congratulations. First off, new deal. I'm sure the kids are going to get everything they asked for this Christmas. It should be a good Christmas around the Boyd house.
I know
Mama should get
my
Go ahead, yeah.
No, I'm just saying, yeah, my daughter always associated the Chicago trip with the American Girl Doll Museum because we stayed right there. And, she's like, she's already asking, so does that mean we can go there more often? Well, no, no, honey, that's regardless of what we're making, that's a big price tag. So yeah, no,
So
but
I'm
we're
going to
grateful,
talk
man.
about, I know you are, and I'll continue to touch on free agency, right?
Yeah.
We just saw Juan Soto get his deal done. Great job of getting your deal done early. Can you talk about it? Can you just expand a little bit on how and why, as a player, do you think this is good for the game?
I mean, like, you think like Juan Soto, or just the way the things are happening faster altogether?
The Juan Soto deal, like that, that type
Yeah.
of deal.
I mean,
You got an extremely great deal as well. Like, where
yeah.
do you see the landscape going? Does it like it's trending back to where it was, 7-8 years ago?
I mean, I think so. Right, like about almost 10 years ago now, right? We were teammates, which is kind of crazy to say
Yep.
that, right? But you were talking about me, right? Moving the game forward, and we were right after CBA, and we were talking about like. I remember all those guys coming in the clubhouse and talking about Dave Winfield, Dave Winfield coming in and Tony Clark, and those guys you have those general conversations. And when you see a deal like one that gets done, you thank the guys and the generations before you that made that possible. So when I say that's good for the game, I think it's good that you can look at these guys that Juan got to get to the big leagues at a young age. He hit free agency early, and that's awesome that he got to take that strike at that because he earned it. He's put what 6 amazing seasons together, and I think it's good for baseball in that sense. I think it's good for baseball when you know, uh, guys like the Mets were there. He obviously wanted, Mr. Cohen really wanted Soto, and they pushed the chips in there, and they're going for it after coming off a NLCS berth, and that sort of thing's just, that's what there's so many ways to win, but I think it's always good to see that, and like I said, happy for Juan and whatnot.
Well, I mean, nobody thought the money was going to get this high. You thought, okay, maybe 500 million, 550. What if someone had offered Soto right when the free agency started, fine for 600 million right now? I bet he would have taken it. Hey, Otani's a different animal. He's worth every penny. We'll see about this one. But it's staggering. This thing could be worth $805 million. Soto's got a buyout for 5 years. So if the Mets don't increase it by $4 million a year for the next 10 years after that, he can opt out. If they exercise that makes the contract $805 million. So all of a sudden now we've gone from a $400 million player in Trout. We have no $500 million player, no $600 million player, and 2 $700 million players. Obviously got no trade clause and all that. The big, $50 million signing bonus, and no deferrals. So where Otani's is knocked down to about 460, this is worth every penny of 765.
Bob, first of all, you obviously don't watch our show because I said, was it last week? What he's going to get is going to shock people. So you need to tune in more, Bob. Okay, get out of the ballroom you're in, sitting with all your friends, and tune into Foul Territory. Because I said it on here that what Soto was going to get was going to shock people for AAV, for years, everything, and he set the record for all of them. So I don't know if he's worth it. He got what the Mets. And listen, the other thing was there was more than what hit just the Mets in on this. The Yankees were in on this. The Red Sox were in this, and I heard there was a team that was even maybe willing to go to 17 years for this guy. So I mean, how well this plays down the line, I don't know. But right now, Mets fans be happy. Juan Soto, Scott Boras, you guys deserve a ton of credit.
Well, we're in the same hotel where the A-Rod contract was, and people freaked out that night. Sandy Alderson was working for the commissioner's office. He was blasting Boris, everybody. Every owner was going nuts. That didn't happen last night. People were still kind of raising their eyebrows. But, hey, we're in the same hotel as A-Rod, same hotel as Manny Ramirez contract, Mike Hampton contract, Albert Pujols contract. So if you want to have a big contract, you got to do it right here. So if you're Vlad Guerrero, no one's going to wake up happier this morning than Vlad. All of a sudden, he made himself probably another $100 million, if not more, just by looking at what happened in the Soto deal.
To the rest of baseball. At about this time last year, when Ohtani signed with the Dodgers, all of us said this is not a high tide raising all boats because he's unique. He's unique from the hitter-pitcher standpoint. He's unique from the standpoint that even casual fans know who he is. He's an international sensation. There's all kinds of merchandising involved and international television rights and all the rest. He is unique. And so don't bring this up to me if you're an agent or a player. Don't bring Ohtani up when we sit down at the table. However, with Soto, terrific player as he is, distinctive as he has star presence. Is he as unique as Ohtani? Plus, there were no deferred payments here as there were in the Ohtani deal. So suppose now agents and players come to their GM and say, look, maybe I'm not as good as Soto. I'll take 75%. Well, they can counter by saying, look, this is close to unique in this one respect. He's an established superstar on a Hall of Fame track, and he just turned 26. So at least for 10 of the 15 years that we just committed to, if he stays healthy, we're going to get our money's worth. And to a point that I've heard made over the last 12, 18 hours, this is going to cause more and more potentially great players to go the Soto and Bryce Harper type route. Now, Harper did it for a different reason. Soto, was coming out of the Dominican Republic, but Harper did a couple of years in junior college or whatever he did, and the whole idea was to get to arbitration and to free agency sooner. That's what improved the value for Soto. Maybe Bobby Witt could have gotten there if he didn't take a team-friendly deal in Kansas City. But don't you guys think a lot of agents are looking at this now and saying, the sooner we can get to this, that's what really bolstered this deal. Smack into not just the middle of the prime of his career, but by past history with other players entering the prime of his career.
Breaking news, it's a done deal. The Chicago Cubs have acquired Kyle Tucker in a trade with the Houston Astros. Tucker is a free agent after this season. He is a superstar. He's one of the best players in Major League Baseball, period. Last year was on an MVP track on that conversation at the start of the year. Of course, he went down for about half the season with an injury, but when he is on the field, he's a stud. He's been on the field for the majority of his career. There's no injury-plagued label on Kyle Tucker. Guys, he's a five-tool player. Am I right? How do you describe Kyle Tucker? Give me the scouting report on what the Cubs are getting. We'll go to the Astros side in a moment. But what are the Cubs getting? Because, Kratz, there's a lot of vanilla in what the Cubs were putting out there recently. And they said, we need a superstar. This is a superstar. They need to switch things up. Some teams felt like that. This helps.
The minute he got put on the market coincided with the Soto deal. Ironically, some of the numbers this man puts up coincide with Soto. You're sitting here going, he's not going to walk as much. I get it. He is a Astro machine. Astros changed up how you take your at-bats, the way you swing at pitches, what pitches you swing at, and he's only gotten better. He has done a great job of zoning in his pitches, but then being able to put the bat on the ball on pitches that are on the edge when it comes to two strikes. To me, you're talking about getting a guy that had a 181 OPS plus, and I think Soto's OPS plus last year, I get it, more at bats, was 188 or 186, almost similar OPS plus. That's how you compare players that have different amount of at bats and their production. This is a huge, huge get. We're talking about a monster. Oh, he can play the outfield too.
Stud, kind of piggyback what Kratzy said, man. This guy, I would love to see him go to, more of a team in contention. Don't get me wrong.
Shots fired.
No, I'm not shooting shots. I'm just spitting facts. But, overall, I think, the Cubs did a really good job here of getting him. They gave away a couple guys, as we talked about, but this is nice, man. This guy can play. He's just a ball player. And Dusty Baker always said it best. When you get named, hey, look at that guy, man. That guy's just a ball player. And that's what he is. He's a ball player, and he plays the game the right way, and he can mash. And his swing is beautiful. I don't care what anybody says.
All right, guys, ready for this? The OPS plus league ballpark adjusted, right? For Juan Soto was 178. Kyle Tucker, 181 this past season. Kyle Tucker played half the season. Okay. That is true. Almost exactly. 78 games. Baseball Reference WAR was about 5. And for Soto, his Baseball Reference WAR in a full season was 8. So if you do double up what Kyle Tucker brought in his prime years for the Astros this season, he was, according to many front offices, a more valuable player. Okay. I'm not saying that's my choice, but that is how many people would look at him. Just to give you an idea of the ballpark of value of where this player is. Not the same bat, far superior glove and base runner, more well-rounded ball player. And really just the facts. You're right, Todd Father. He's going to a team that hasn't been great lately. They need a superstar. They get one here. He had the bone bruise is what the Astros called it. Eventually it was revealed it was a fracture. And it's a big torque guy too, right? Kratz with the swing.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. It's a different type of swing. It's a different swing that, he kind of cuts himself short. It's not that like fluid looking, but man, does it do.
I like it.
It does tons of damage. And the fact that he's never struck out more than 100 times in a season, he's 112. I think he had 112 RBIs 2 years ago. He was on pace for that again, 107 the year before. He's only 20. He's going to be 28 this year. Like, to me, I love it. And for giving up Isaac Paredes, I love the pickup. He should have been coveted by a lot of teams.
Mm-hmm. Okay, now let's spend a few minutes on the Houston side. So Hayden Wesneski, nice little pitching depth to add to the mix. Okay, Cam Smith could be a dude. That's a high-end prospect for a Cubs team that actually was in good shape with position player prospects. So this is something that's totally fine. And in my mind, for Cubs fans, very, very worth it. You need to go get more competitive in the National League Central. If you're not going to ball out for someone like Soto, you get Tucker for a year, try and wine and dine and extend him. But even if not, you got to be more competitive next year. This helps. Okay. So now Isaac Paredes, I'm going to take you back, Kratz, because I started looking through my notes and the fit I had for Paredes at the trade deadline. I was like, Paredes to the Astros first base last year. Didn't happen. And I'm like, boom, now we get it. Now we get to see the extreme fly ball pull hitter do his thing in Houston with that freaking bandbox that they've got and the Crawford boxes specifically in left field. This is a park that in my mind is perfect for him. He'll do the little dance Ross Stripling told us where he'll work all fields, but his power is to one place. Okay. And he was a stud in the first half for Tampa Bay. His numbers fell off with Chicago. The Cubs park factor wise was third toughest according to StatCast for right-handed hitters last year. Houston's plugging him in and saying, let's go, baby. This guy's about to be a force for us. It's not Kyle Tucker, but this is a really good big league replacement bat.
Big league replacement bat that can play third and first. We talked about it a little bit. You can't sit there and go, wow, he's at third now, so Alex Bregman, it'd look nice if they bring Alex Bregman back and they go and put Paredes at first, especially since you don't have to pay Tucker now. Maybe you can pay Bregman.
Maybe I'm overplaying it, Todd Father, but I don't like the Astros having to trade Kyle Tucker. If you're going to do it, you get a bat like Paredes who can hit you 30, maybe 40 bombs if he has his prime year and it all works for him in Houston. That's a nice replacement bat, like I was saying in the lineup. And then you get Cam Smith, who's got high upside. You get some more pitching depth. I like the return. I like the trade a lot for both sides.
I agree, but those words 30-40, I put Jose Abreu to be the home run leader when he got traded. So just be very careful with
when he signed with the Astros,
with what you say over there. All right, that's all. That I was just making a point, but I do agree. That's true.
2023, Paredes hit 31 home runs when he was with Tampa Bay in 571 plate appearances.
He was on pace this past season.
Yeah, it really fell off with Chicago, but
I don't think he liked playing those day games all the time. I don't know. Maybe it's something different.
Chicago for right-handers. Concur? Tougher than for lefties.
Concur.
Ryan Sandberg
you got to hit it.
told me that.
You got to hit it in the perfect spot in left center, where
and he's hooking them Jones.
You got to go. You got to go way back in left center or left field, and with the wind. Oof.
Yep.
How you doing?
Yeah, I'm not a big Morel guy. That the Cubs traded him because it's a lot of swing and miss in the bat, and it's not a good defender. You don't know where to put him. So I really liked the upgrade. But yes, the fit in terms of that replacement was a quick no from the Cubs. Not that they weren't going to keep him, but it looked like they said, oh, we can put this guy in a Kyle Tucker trade. Let's make this happen. So good for them. All right, let's do this. We are going to talk about how good Barry Bonds was, and we're going to start with a guy that played with him. You talk about him, I would say, every month or so on the show, his name comes up, and you actually got to experience a season next to him.
Listen, Chipper, we had Chipper on earlier. What did Chipper say? Who was the best player he saw?
He didn't hesitate.
Barry Bonds.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna say I played with and against. Obviously, I played for almost 20 years, and I got Cal Ripken at the end of his career, and I got some of those older guys. I mean, Paul Molitor I got to play with, and a lot of Hall of Fame guys that were some of the best, right? Pitchers included, right? And then I went all the way to 2016 where I got to play with like a Freddie Freeman, Dansby Swanson. I saw Cunha when he was coming up, right? Ozzie Albies was a teammate of mine. So I've got to see both ends of the spectrum. Played against Harper. I played against Miguel Cabrera in the same division the year he won the Triple Crown in 2012. I played with Barry Bonds for 1 year, 2004. If you don't know the 2004 year, go look it up. And I know the first thing people are going to say is he was on stuff. I don't care what. I don't give a what he was on, okay? He was the best offensive player. Now, defensively at this time, he was older and he still make the plays, and he didn't have a great arm, but he still stole a base. If he got on first and needed to steal second, he could do it every time. It was unbelievable. It's the only guy, and we told this story the other day when we had Eric Gagne on here too. I went to Japan with Barry. First time I met Barry. Went to Japan with him in 2002. And we had Barry Bonds, Jason Giambi, Ichiro was on that team, Derek Lee, Jimmy Rollins. The list was crazy. Eric Chavez. I mean, we had Bernie Williams. I mean, we had a freaking Pat Burrell. We had a freaking stud team. Okay. Barry Bonds would go over there, and Pat Burrell said this to me, and I'll never forget it. They would very rarely throw Barry a strike, even over in Japan, right? And he didn't hit a home run one time. And Pat Burrell came back and looked at me and goes, I can't believe Barry Bonds didn't hit a home run. He goes, he's the only guy I've ever been in a ballpark with where he didn't hit a home run, and I was surprised that he got a pitch to hit. It was that great. I remember he had an at-bat in Japan. This is when I was like, this dude's on a different planet. Guy threw him a split. Like, it was split. And he swung and missed at it. He looked at the pitcher, and he went like this. He went. And the next pitch, he threw it higher, and he freaking hit it 900 feet. It was a joke for this guy. I mean, I've never seen anything like it, and I can't say it enough. Like, offensively, the year I saw what he did is the best year. Look up the numbers. He had like a 700 on base, 650 on base. His OPS was well over 1,000, like 1,200 something.
14.
Yeah, 1,400. I mean, it was so crazy you can't even think about it. He was so much better. And I know, listen, Dana, they're going to say he was on stuff. I don't care. It was so much better. And I remember playing against him, pitching to him. He hit a ball, I'll never forget, off Joe Mays. We were playing when I was in Minnesota. We went over there. And I think it was 2003, so the year after I went to Japan. And Joe Mays got him out on like a slow curveball, I think it was. And the next at bat, we tried it again, and he hit a ball that hit the right field wall in San Francisco, and I swear the wall moved 7 feet back. and there's still probably a dent. It was a great. And then we talked about the Gagne at bat. The other day we had Gagne. Like words don't even describe how good Barry Bonds was.
Well, let's show some stats then to help tell the story of how good Barry was. He was a cyborg. He was a cheat code. He was the greatest stats-wise player of all time. By far. Greatest hitter of all time. 14-time All-Star, 7-time MVP, 7 MVPs, 22 seasons. There's the WAR number. The batting average slightly under 300 for the career, 762 home runs. I like that we have the headshot of him from Pittsburgh because there was a whole version of Barry then. Then you got the San Francisco version. Career 444 on base percentage, just shy of 3,000 hits, 8 Gold Glove awards, 514 stolen bases, the 73 homer season in 2001. And again, we're not stupid. We know the storylines here, but we're talking about the production. Trust me, we've gotten plenty over PED talks on this show. We don't hold back, but there's the sexy baseball reference page.
Here's the story. Shohei Ohtani's season last year, people consider great. It was the 11th greatest Barry Bonds season of his career. Think about that. Like, how great was Shohei Ohtani last year? And that was the 11th greatest season Barry Bonds ever had. 11th. So he had 11 better seasons or 10 better seasons than the one Shohei just had. And we're talking about that being an all-time season. Barry had 10 or 11 better than that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it doesn't do it justice to look at just numbers unless you were there every day. And I've told this story on here before. 2004, we go into Houston. We open in Houston. All right. We get Clemens, Pettit, Oswald first 3 days. Right. Oswald opening day is shoving. Right. We get to like the 8th inning. And we asked Clemens the story on here, and he said, "Man, Oswald shouldn't have thrown that pitch. He threw him a pitch. He hit a home run. We won the game like 2-1. Other than that, we were doing nothing off of him." Right.
Mm-hmm.
Barry comes in the clubhouse, and that was 659 in his whole career. We had 5 more games on the road. He goes, "I will not hit a home run until we get back to San Francisco. I want to tie Willie at home." And I looked at JT Snow, and JT Snow goes, "Watch what he's about to do the next 5 games." I go, "What do you mean?" He goes, "He won't hit a home run, but he will hit missiles everywhere." For 5 games, he didn't hit a home run. He just went, double, two. We get back home. He goes, "All right, today's the day I tie Willie." Boom, homer. Next day, today's the day I pass the torch. Willie passes me the torch. Homer. Boom, homer. It was like nothing I had ever seen in my life.
What was he doing for those 5 games?
Just getting hits. Getting hits.
But he wasn't taking home run swings?
Dude, listen, I don't know. I wasn't that good. I couldn't tell you. I don't know. Maybe Crouch was that good where he'd be like, "This is a home run swing." He just was like, "I'm just going to get hits."
Did you ever go up there and say, "Okay, I'm not going to give my A swing, my home run swing right now"?
No.
I mean, I guess some guys did it where they would like, obviously.
Well, no, there's times you're just like trying to flick
change
the ball,
your approach.
but that's different.
But he wasn't doing that.
No, he
was hitting
the same.
missiles, but missiles that wouldn't go over the wall.
Yeah.
He could plan it out that way.
It was unbelievable. Dude, this guy, it was unbelievable. It was unbelievable. I saw him do things that I can't even explain.
AJ lived it. I just watch it. I've pulled up his baseball reference. The bold on his baseball reference is crazy. Any kind of bold stat, any highlighted stat is career, like a baseball history. His numbers are ridiculous. But what even demeans those numbers, which is never talked about, because we talk about it all the time now, about how like Jorge Soler signed it to play in San Francisco. It's going to diminish his numbers. This man played in San Francisco. He was bashing balls. He ruined hitting balls into the bay for other people. Like, people thought it was just going to happen often. You go to that place, it is a game changer. There's no place in the big leagues by far that is tougher to hit a home run out of. That man was hitting them everywhere. So that just exemplifies what he did.
Nobody's put a 30 homer season together still. Isn't that the stat?
Mm-mm.
Since Bonds did it?
2004. I think it was 2004. There was the one where he tied the record right there. That was off Matt Kinney. I was there. I was like, this is a joke. That was the one off Gagne after the epic at bat he had. Listen.
People don't do it.
Jake Peavy, that was 700th homer. I got to see that. Oppo Taco on a breaking ball.
At night.
I mean, yeah. Take that. I don't know who the lefty was.
Halsley.
Didn't matter. Bung Hung Kim. Yep, got him.
Yum Young Kim for a little bushes. And look where it goes, too. That's halfway up the bleachers.
I mean, Oppo at Petco back when the ball didn't go anywhere off Hensley. I mean,
that was the record breaker right there.
Yeah, it was just. Listen, I've never been in awe of playing with a dude in my life until I played with that guy, and then it was just.
Don't give me this. Don't give me the steroid stuff either, people. Like,
there's a lot of other guys that were on steroids too. There was a lot of other dudes that were on steroids.
I'm aware, but
they weren't doing that.
To many people, they go, well, if you're on the right cycle and the right plan, you can go from out of the bigs, like minor league fringe, to getting in. You can go from good to, check out some players that had no homers and then had a 50 homer season in their career. There's a couple. And then you can go from maybe best of all time already to what the... That's what you see. It's a big impact. There were some guys during that era.
I know it was a big impact, but I'm just saying there was a lot of other guys doing stuff.
I agree, but you know a couple of the names where you look and you're like, this dude hit 52 home runs this one season.
I know.
You know the people I'm talking about. And you're like, how the hell did that person put that together? We're not holding back here. It just, trust me, I'm super anti-PED. I talk about it all the time.
Yeah.
But at the same time, this was stupid. This was video game bonanza every night from him.
You couldn't do this in BP. Big leaguers couldn't do this in BP at the rate that he was doing it in big league games against big league pitchers.
No. Oh, by the way, similarities. I love this. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you want to read this? So some will listen
Willie
on the pod
Mays,
later.
Hank Aaron,
Is there similarity
Frank
scores
Robinson,
on
A-Rod,
Baseball Reference?
The closest has to be Willie Mays. If you're going to have to compare somebody, in my opinion, it's Willie Mays' numbers.
I got into an argument the other day with Griffey about this, and it was so fun. We don't have enough time.
No, I want to know.
I'm like, listen, Griffey was unbelievable. I mean, I played with and against Griff for a long time, and he was unbelievable.
Yeah.
But I'm like, Griff, listen, you weren't as good as Barry hitting, and he was just fired up.
Really?
He's like, but I could play center field. I'm like, I don't care. It was great. And I was like, great. And I'm like, great, Griff, I love you. I love you to death. But dude, it wasn't close.
But he feels competitive about it.
Oh, he's super competitive.
I mean,
Kratz
the other segment said he felt like he was the best player in the league. So if Griffey's up there saying I felt like I was the best and I was just as good as Barry, then I at least understand where he's coming from. He is one of the best players.
He was. Griff was unbelievable.
He's not Barry status.
But he wasn't because it was also the threat.
Yeah.
Right? Of like, oh my God, when is Barry up? Because we have to make sure there's nobody on base or we can walk him or otherwise it's a homer. I mean, I have so many Barry. I mean,
yeah.
Barry Bonds. So we're playing Colorado. They weren't very good. And what was the loud guy's name that was the manager there forever? Turned red all the time, yelled at everybody.
Clint Hurdle.
Clint Hurdle.
Oh yeah.
He would, he loved to talk a lot, right? So we're there. We go to Colorado. First game, he pitches to Barry in a big situation, and Barry hits a ball off the. I mean, he didn't go out. It hit the yellow line at the top of the right field corner, and I swear it registered on the Richter scale when it hit the wall. And whatever, we ended up winning the game because of that hit. And from that moment on, I swear the rest of the year, Clint Hurdle was like,
that's
I don't know if he got another at bat against Colorado the rest of the year. I mean, it was like, nope, put him on every at bat.
I mean, he was the algorithm hack for the analytics departments that say don't intentionally walk most dudes.
You had to.
Yeah.
AJ was hitting
I'm
behind
saying
him.
weird.
That's true. I was for a while, and then they figured out that wasn't a good answer.
Anyway.
They put Edgardo Alfonso there because they were like, you'll hit behind him. But it sucked for me because every time you come up, especially in San Francisco, if you didn't get a hit, dude, you were the enemy. Like if you didn't get a hit as hitting behind Barry Bonds, you were the enemy. Oh, they're walking him to get to you. You suck.
It's a pressurized situation.
Oh, man, it was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And if you hit a ground ball, my speed, he wasn't taking the dude out a second.
No,
it was an auto double play.
Yes.
DP.
You got to get a little lift on that thing.
Auto
Don't worry
DP.
about shooting it past the infield in that case.
No.
Yeah.
Auto DP.
That's good. So we'll do more of these if you like them, but also if you're watching this after the fact, as we did it live, just drop a little comment. Let us know your thoughts on Barry and what we're talking about here. Looking back at past players, we got plenty of stories for you. All right, we'll swing right back on FT. Let's play Man of Mystery. So our next guest joining us on FT for the first time is not a human. I know sometimes people say that about Shohei Ohtani and call him a unicorn or a robot because he's that good. This is ChatGPT joining us. This is not a sponsored segment. This is just for fun. We say a player's name to ChatGPT and say, give us a description of this player without saying his name or his team. So we have done that. Would you like to play? Well,
no,
you
but
have
I don't
to.
really have a choice.
Yeah, you definitely don't have a choice. You're in this chair for 45 more minutes, whether you like it or not. All right, here's player number one, guys. He's known for his powerful bat and imposing presence at the plate, standing tall with a solid, muscular build. He plays primarily as a first baseman and a designated hitter. He's earned a reputation for being a clutch hitter with an aggressive approach, often contributing to his team's offense with his ability to drive in runs. Also, I should mention this for all of our players here. They have been on FT. So that'll get rid of a few dudes who are jerks at this point because we've been around for 2 years. We've gotten a few no's. But anyway, this player is also known for his distinctive beard and bold personality. He's played for multiple Major League Baseball teams, showcasing his strength and raw talent. You guys have any guesses? Player who's been on the show.
Christian Walker?
No, but a good guess. That's a good guess. Christian Walker doesn't DH.
No, he does
He's
not.
way too. He is a ridiculously good first baseman.
I was going to say Max Muncy, but he doesn't play first that much anymore.
No, we're looking for a guy who's been on the show. He's a first baseman and
yesterday.
a DH. He's got pop. He's bold.
He's bold? What does that?
He's got a beard.
What does that mean?
There's actually not that many guys that fit this
play
category.
First? Well, geez, now I'm going to have to run through the teams, and I don't really feel like doing that.
Or you could run through, well, I guess you can't run through the show. We've had hundreds of guests.
Orioles, no.
I thought you guys
would. Red Sox, no.
And now the second layer is we give you the baseball
Rowdy
page. Yeah, Rowdy. I thought that was actually not bad because here's the theme.
Muscular? It said muscular.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things in there that were. Can we put that back
on? 6'4", 270.
Put that 270 in his shorts. Put that up again.
He's got muscles.
Put the Chat GPT crap thing up again.
Chat GPT.
Solid muscular build.
No.
Imposing presence. Clutch hitter?
Hey, Chat.
You also have to know that Chat GPT is not yet ready for the big leagues. It describes most players the same.
Nope.
Okay, do we have another one? Because
we have plenty.
I like this game. I like this.
I figured you would.
We need Rowdy on so we can dispute that to his face.
For those that say robot umps will destroy the managers arguing with the umps, no, you can still.
This guy's solid frame and athleticism.
Yeah, he's 6'3". He's athletic. His bat generates significant power. He's the potential to hit for both average and homers. He's a lefty, showing an ability to drive the ball to all fields. Capable base runner. See, if I see this, I'm like, cool. I can come up with 300
Vogelbach.
Look, gave it away. The potential.
He
has the potential to steal. He just doesn't do it.
Yeah.
Too chatty. They said the exact same thing over and over again. ChatGPT must be a amateur scout.
You know what I'm excited about? So there was a debate this morning after our production meeting with producer lady extraordinaire behind the scenes, was giving you guys a ton of credit. She's like, I feel like they're so good. They just always get stuff. So she was trying to come up with really hard names.
I mean, dude,
and I was like, yo,
descriptions are
what I've learned here is ChatGPT doesn't know crap. Now we go to Baseball Reference. And you guys should be in better shape here.
Oh, easy
on the A's.
Oh, Rooker.
No,
it's left-handed hitter.
Oh, he's got to be left-handed.
He's been on the show.
Blade has
multiple
he been on the
times. Show? No, I don't think so.
Left-hand hitter on the A's?
He's really good.
I don't know. Shows you how much of the A's I watch.
Big second half.
He was awesome.
Yeah.
Lawrence.
Yeah, Law Dog.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, he was good.
Lawrence Butler.
I wasn't on with him, but he was great.
The chat GPT does nothing for us there.
That doesn't help anything.
So let's see this one. Let's go back. Another FT guess to all of these are.
More like vague GPT.
Everyone does.
Yeah,
it is. It's basic GPT. This is a seasoned major league pitcher known for his strong physical build and powerful
and athleticism.
arm.
He can also steal bases. He can also throw left-handed. He can also chag a hell of a BP.
He's got a decade-plus career. He's a workhorse.
Verlander.
Inning, stability. He's been recognized for durability and leadership, playing for several teams and consistently contributing to the starting rotation off the field, known for his calm, focused demeanor.
Garrett Cole.
Verlander. Charlie Morton.
Zach Greinke.
I actually thought there was more.
Max Scherzer.
Clayton Kershaw.
No, you haven't gotten it.
We still haven't gotten it?
I've had a grizzled vet who's on FT you can get.
Lance Lynn.
Yeah, there you go.
Known for his calm demeanor? What the?
Chat GPT sucks.
Calm demeanor.
What are they doing?
We need to get whoever's in charge of it. Who does Chat GPT? Apple? Elon? Can we get Elon on the show?
Chat GPT is its own entity.
Oh, well, whoever owns that, they need to check
over the world.
Okay, well, they're not taking over that quickly because they're going to say everyone's a
Everyone's
good
the
baseball
same.
player.
Everyone's athletic and
Everyone's
muscular.
calm and
Lance
Calm,
my ass.
Producer lady, put in AJ Przinsky.
Ooh.
Oh, definitely calm.
Yes.
Definitely calm.
All right.
Okay.
One more.
Right-handed
You guys
hitter,
have,
infielder known for his
you're
powerful bat. Strong and muscular, just like everybody.
primarily third base, but he's seen time
So
at
he's
other
fat.
infield spots.
With his raw strength makes him a threat. and everything.
He's
A
faced
fan
challenges with
favorite.
consistency and contact. Fan favorite. He's been known for his explosive swing and the ability to hit homers.
Javi Baez.
No. You're
Third
never.
base.
See, the thing is, when I saw this, I was like, I would never get this.
But yeah, no kidding. Because he's muscular.
Well,
I mean,
good, I'm
explosive
glad.
swing.
I won our production meeting battle where I was like, I'm telling you, this is just a ridiculous.
Can we put that up? I want to see how many teams.
All right, so you want to know who this one is?
Yeah.
I mean, I want to see the baseball ref.
Oh, the Burger.
Yep.
Jake Burger.
There you go.
Muscular.
Another muscular burger.
Wait, so we have one bonus one, but before that, I'm going to jump in with AJ Przinsky was known for his intense, no-nonsense approach to the game, often ruffling feathers with opponents and even teammates. A standout in key moments, including his critical role in Chicago's 2005 White Sox World Series championship. Played 19 seasons in MLB, demonstrating exceptional longevity and toughness behind the plate. Loved by teammates for his loyalty and grit, but often labeled as one of MLB's most disliked players by opponents. Transitioned seamlessly into broadcasting after his playing career, offering sharp insights and candid commentary. I got one more. Let's do Kratz, then we'll do the bonus because this is good. And let's be real, we're only going to do this once. Eric Kratz is a retired professional baseball player who was primarily known for his role as a catcher. Over his career, he played for several MLB teams, but he was often seen as a journeyman, moving between teams while providing depth and experience. Quick side note, imagine if this was how everyone wrote speeches. Just like punch this in and I'm describing Kratz, announcing him at a banquet. Known for his solid defensive skills, he was particularly respected for his ability to handle pitchers and manage a game from behind the plate. Though his offensive numbers were not extraordinary, he was valued for his leadership and work ethic. He was also known for his sense of humor and for being a great clubhouse presence, often connecting well with teammates. His time in MLB included stints with teams like the Phillies, the Pirates, and the Brewers, and he earned a reputation as a reliable backup catcher who contributed in a variety of ways.
Wow. So nice.
All right, last one.
I thought producer lady said she had one more.
She does. It's a bonus guest. This comedian and actor is best known for his distinctive persona, characterized by a drawling voice and humorous catchphrases.
Oh, Mater.
Yeah, it's my boy, Dan.
Larry.
Dan. Well, people that know us know him Dan.
Right.
Get her done.
There you go.
By the way, if you ever, one of the best things of all time is when he sees people, he always does this and it always makes me laugh every time because he's Mater. So people will be like, "Hey, can you say hi to like on the video?" And I was like, "Mater, gotta go," or "Here comes," oh, he's like McQueen, and he like in his Mater voice. Yeah, he does like a whole car thing. It's funny. So he lived in Orlando for a while. We had him on.
We did. Well, that's why.
Great guy. Great
Man of Mystery is all about FT guests, and what we've learned is ChatGPT loves comedy specials, hates baseball.
Everyone's muscular and powerful.
They're like, yeah, they hit, they're clutch, they're bold, they're calm, they play.
Yeah. Lance, like, calm. He'll be so proud.
You type in Larry the Cable Guy, they're like, I know every line.
Yeah. Lance, calm demeanor off the field. Yeah, okay.
Well, Lance is coming on the show soon. And there was just a big story out on him in The Athletic. So we'll read it and then we'll bring him on soon. But anyway, if you liked this, let us know. If you didn't like this, also let us know. And we'll play a game or two here or there just to show that we have fun.
Mm-hmm.
Hot corner time. Kratz and I were talking about this a while back, and I said, let's save this for a rainy or snowy day or wherever you are. But park factors, according to StatCast, just showing you how the league calculates the best parks for hitters, the worst parks for hitters, the best parks for home run hitters, and the worst parks for home run hitters. So this is data used from 2022 to 2024, which usually gives you a better sample, right? So let's start with home runs, and then we'll go to the overall hitting, okay? Have you guys seen these yet? You haven't? Kratz, have you?
Kratz cheats.
Okay.
I don't cheat.
So give me at least a few of the home run happy ballparks. There aren't a lot of surprises.
Home run happy ballparks? I mean, Great American Small Park's got to be up there.
That's number one from 2022 to 2024. Number two is kind of surprising, honestly. I knew it was more home run happy, but I didn't know it was this home run happy.
Before AJ guesses it, and his mind is spinning, I wonder how much this. I know park adjusted factor, like the dudes that are on the team, the dudes that are pitching, the dudes that are hitting. Like if there's guys, because I know it's out of the whole landscape of the season, but it gets skewed. The better teams in this park can be really, really tiny at certain times of the day.
What Philly's got to be up there?
Yeah, that's five.
Coors is too obvious to me.
No, that one's not there.
That's what I'm saying. That's too
not
obvious.
For homers.
KC's definitely not one.
Not a homer.
No.
I mean, you said two is someone I wouldn't. So then that's got to be like a San Diego-ish kind of place.
Nope. I mean, in the region, but Dodger Stadium.
Dodger Stadium's two?
Two.
Damn. Most homers?
But look at the dudes they have. That's my thing with
that's true.
It's not
Philly,
most home runs.
Yeah,
it's
Philly's five. One is small park. Got it.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's not just from homers though. This is the StatCast metrics on homer happy ballparks.
Oh.
Number 3 is Yankee Stadium. Number 4, Globe Life.
In Texas?
Yeah. I wouldn't have thought that at all.
Really? I never would have thought. I thought that played big.
Right?
Watching the home run derby, watching BP there for the 2 days that we were there, it looked big. It looked like it played big.
Yeah, it looked like it played big.
Yeah,
that was the point.
Big.
You watch that park, even compared to a park that wasn't on that list, but it's top 10. I mean, it's tough to hit home runs in Miami. And I know Judge was Stanton in that one too. Remember that home run derby? What was it? Was it 17?
The one that Judge won, where he hit the roof.
Yeah, the one that Judge won. That one, and also we got to keep in mind, it depends on the year and how they juice the baseballs too.
Yeah.
But I just remember in Miami, I was like, damn, maybe this is a little more homer happy than I thought. But it was the Derby. All right, least homer happy ballparks.
San Francisco's got to be up there.
San Francisco's number 1.
Kansas City.
Kansas City's number 4.
Oakland.
Oakland's number 2.
So
far,
Miami.
You won't get the
Miami's not in the. It's not top 5. Like for
so what about
least
City?
homer happy. City's not top 5 either.
Hardest to hit homers.
I think you'll get one of the other ones, and the other one you probably wouldn't.
Think of really deep gaps. That's
Seattle.
To me, that's what I always look at.
Seattle?
Not Seattle.
No.
Big outfield.
But they're all big. Big outfield.
Big left field.
They're not all big.
Big left field? Baltimore?
No.
I would have said Boston, but the monster makes up for it.
Right. No. So Chase Field's the one I don't think.
Oh, Chase Field's a launch. My kid was hitting homers at Chase Field this year, like getting bombs out of that place.
I don't know. And then this one, I felt like you had a chance. Pittsburgh's pretty tough.
Not to right field. It's not.
To left field.
Pittsburgh left center's big.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's your list for least homer happy.
Really, Chase?
Arizona's the shocker, right? Yeah.
God, the ball used to fly out of Chase.
Okay, now for overall.
I think the humidor hurts certain fields. I think it really, especially when they just changed it this year, where everybody has some version of the humidor. Bryce Harper and Alec Bohm, they were talking about it one day randomly about how Atlanta is a launching pad. They love
Atlanta. Atlanta, yeah, that's not in there either.
Not in the top 5. I don't have the whole list in front of me, but what about most? We're going to do 2 more. Most hitter friendly. So overall, just parks that produce offense. Coors is 1.
See, I loved hitting in Kansas City because the outfield was gigantic and you could just hit it anywhere.
Kansas City's 4.
Yeah.
This was what sparked this segment. Was we were talking to Brady Singer, and Kratz and I were texting on the side about Brady going from Kansas City to Cincinnati, and I was like, that's a tougher ballpark to pitch in. But Kratz was like, there's plenty of offense in Kansas City. It's just a different kind of offense, right? You're not getting home runs, but you're getting plenty of knocks because there's a lot of outfield territory to cover. Cincinnati, there's some fly balls you're going to give up and be like, damn, that was routine in Kansas.
Think about the best teams that have played in KC. What are 2 things that they do?
They put the ball in play.
They run it down, and they put the ball in play. So they run down all your hits. Think about 14-15's team. And then this year's team, they put the ball in play. And they could run it down too, but you put the ball in play, you have a better chance to use that expansive space.
Mm-hmm. Oh, man. Just thinking again about Lorenzo Cain running certain baseballs down out there and making it look easy.
And how about they used to bring in Gerard Dyson and move low to right field to give you an idea of how good the outfield was.
They're super smart. They knew what they were doing. Those World Series champs from back in the day. All right, so you got Coors. You want to guess? And you got Kaufman. I feel like you can
White
get
Sox?
at least. No, not in the top 5. I feel like you can get at least one of the other ones because one of them you already mentioned. It produced a lot of homers.
Great American Small Park.
So they're in there at 3. This one I actually see when you're watching games. Fenway Park is 2.
Fenway, because huge right field, small left field.
Right.
So you could bang balls off the monster that would have been caught. What's the other one?
Target Field.
Oh, I loved hitting
in
at
Minnesota.
Target. God, I loved hitting there.
So much.
Okay, so that plays.
I love the bottom 2 for sure. And I mean, Coors, everyone loves hitting at Coors. But oh man, I was in that division. I was like, oh man, when they put Target Field out there, they were like, Mauer and Morneau were complaining. I'm like, this place is great.
But that's the thing is the AL Central is deceptive because some people will be like, oh, brutal for hitters. You got Kaufman, tough to hit homers there. They'll be like, Minnesota, obviously. Yeah, homers, yes. What was the other one I was thinking of? I mean, Detroit, a lot of
Detroit. Listen, I played in Detroit before they changed it. Now that was awful.
When they didn't, before they moved
the fences. You all got to understand, before they moved the fences, the bullpen, you had to hit it over the bullpen. The flagpole was in the field. It was ginormous. Right field was different. They moved right field in. They moved left field in. It was unbelievably big. We'd go in there with Torrey Hunter in center, Jock Jones in left. Be like, hit it to center, boys. And they just catch everything.
That was a good advantage for them back in the day. All right, one more. Let's do the most pitcher-friendly ballparks according to StatCast from 2022 to 2024 by their ballpark metrics. Have any ideas?
The best what? Pitcher-friendly?
Most pitcher-friendly.
I mean, again, I'd go San Francisco.
Yep. San Francisco's
I'd go
5.
Oakland too. I'd go say Oakland also.
Oakland's not there. You'll know a lot of these. Some of these you brought
City
up already.
has the best pitching
City's
staff.
4. Yeah, City's 4. Also,
the
these
best
are the
starting
teams
staff.
that can talk pitchers into signing on these flyer deals. David Stearns is trying to make that a thing with the Mets now, so he's got that flowing. The Giants have had that going for a while now.
Seattle
is 1. They can play to that. There's 2 left, and I see the chat very involved too. Miami's not on here, not on the top 5.
Top 5.
I feel like one you won't get. It used to be super pitcher friendly, and now it at least appears more neutral. But on here, it's not.
Houston,
Petco.
Oh, Petco, yeah.
So it's
still
used
playing. To be a monster.
I know, but it's still playing pitcher friendly according to
It used to be a
StatCast.
monster though.
Very pitcher friendly. Yeah, it used to be.
What's the biggest?
It used to be the most pitcher friendly or top 3 for a long time,
Petco.
and it still is. And now it is.
What about
again.
Wrigley?
Wrigley's not on there. This one, I actually think you'll go. Okay, I see this.
What's the biggest?
Batter's
What's the biggest
eye.
park in the American League East?
Biggest park
Toronto.
in the American League East.
No.
Toughest.
Tampa.
Yeah.
See,
some dudes
that's surprising me
there.
because like there's a lot of hits in Trop.
In the Trop, yeah, but some dudes struggle there.
Yeah, true. T-Mobile is Seattle, right? They've all changed their names a million times.
Yes. Yeah, and I don't care. I'm just telling you. Yeah, Seattle, San Diego,
Trop,
St. Pete.
Well, yes. Guess what? R.I.P. Trop. So we don't have to worry about that one. That one's out.
That's true. Now it's
R.I.P. Trop.
That's good. All right. Well,
and Seattle has the crooked batter. It's funny. Now I got to go to the rundown. Now I want to see the list. It's funny. Like I loved hitting in Seattle. I did all right in Petco. Trop didn't bother me. City Field I didn't really do that great because I was facing DeGrom and Syndergaard and all those guys throwing a bazillion at the end of my career. In Oracle, I watched Barry Bonds hit there, so that was very hitter friendly.
That was.
But
Barry
a lot of these I
friendly.
loved hitting in. Like Kaufman, oh please, yes. I was like, oh, and that's a lot of times the Royals didn't have very good pitching. I was like,
Right,
yeah,
just spray baseballs all over the field.
Left to right, you could hit every line.
Strike out.
They were
You didn't strike
gigantic.
out.
Gigantic.
That's the thing is there. Think about it though. In today's game, how many guys? There's just different. I mean, there were back then too, but different flavored hitting profiles. And if you're a big swing and miss guy, true outcome guy, Kaufman is not your friend.
No, that's why they don't. When they win, like Kratz said, they don't have those players.
Right. Good call. All right, that was fun. And also, yeah, it plays into how teams can recruit free agents, right? They can point to boards like this. And obviously the pitchers and the hitters know the deal, but for some guys, it stands out. One last thought here, because I heard some people bring this up. If there's such a problem with a certain ballpark, let's say it's the batter's eye, why don't they just fix it? Like in Seattle, why don't they just make it like one of the other ballparks? I mean, I'm sure that they can adjust it. They don't believe them? Huh.
Maybe they think their hitters are soft. They're like, oh, other teams come in. Other teams don't come in and necessarily hit against the Mariners starting rotation or bullpen in the last few years.
It's their players. If they're picking soft players, pick other players. I don't know. Just throwing it out there. Anyway, if you're watching this after the fact, I know. then let us know your thoughts on what we just ran through and if there are any parks that you were surprised to see on there or not on there. Be right back, FT fam. A little BetMGM look back at the Cubs win totals. Ooh, we had some tight ones. So you get to the start of the season and the number was 84.5. That was the current, right? Entering 3/27/24 March. And they finished with 83 dubs.
They nailed it.
They were close.
And they pretty much crushed that.
I bet, Kratz, there were quite a few fans that went over and thought the Cubs could do some damage. Yeah. Especially, I'm talking start of the season. So now you have to keep in mind at that point, we don't know how the Brewers are going to be, and they had lost Burns.
Woodruff,
right. The rotation looked like a shell of itself. The Reds had lost Matt McClain, and, you still don't have Marte to start the season. You don't know what he's going to look like. Like, the Reds were a little beat up by the time we got to the start of the season. So I bet you there were some aggressive plays on the Cubs that did not work out.
I know you waffled back and forth a little bit right at the season. You're like, Reds. No, actually, Cubs. I just felt like they were a 500 team. I thought they built them to be a 500 team, but the caveat for sure was the NL Central. You just think it's kind of mid, and obviously the Brewers ran away with it and made this under hit.
Exactly.
Also, the Cardinals weren't that great.
The Cardinals were not that great.
The Cardinals were overvalued for me.
Going
into last year, like their number was way higher than the Cubs, and after the year they had the year before, and they didn't really do much to improve. So I think that's also why the people were like, "Oh, the Cubs, whatever." People, and plus Cub fans, they're a little bit local.
Yeah, well, they were pissed. I mean, I whipped on not just the Cubs, but really, I just whipped on the Brewers. I was like,
yeah, the Brewers were the main one.
That was the problem.
Kratz thought they'd be pretty good.
Yeah, Kratz knew it. We didn't.
The Cub fans were like 83 with our team. We're going to win
in that division.
In that division,
yeah,
and that's what I'm saying. There are sometimes Cub fans, and listen, they're fans short for fanatics. They're a little bit crazy about their team, and they bet on them, I'm sure, and they regret it.
Yeah, I felt good about the Cardinals one, where I was like, all right, it ain't happening for St. Louis. They are way too overvalued. So anyway, get yourself up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if you're a new user on BetMGM.com, or you hit up the app on iOS or Android, get yourself at least $10 loaded up into the account. And then when you place your first wager, get up to $1,500 back in bonus bets. If the bet loses, that depends obviously on how much you place on that first bet. And if your bet falls, your bonus bet will be available once your initial wager is settled. Gambling problem or concern, call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, second to last slap hands of the year. So we can mix in a New Year's resolution if you have one. I have to make fun of the top of the show. I need you guys to listen to me sometimes.
No. Well, that's not happening.
The shocker of this show is you followed directions to a T at the start of this show, going over the individual accomplishments. And Kratz was like, beat it, nerd. I'm talking about team accomplishments. And I'm not listening to you. It was so good.
Sometimes I AJ and just check out. It's my bad.
I mean, listen, I'm going to start listening to you, Scott, like you listen to Producer Lady.
On times? Like when
just in general.
Get to segments?
Just in general.
I'm a good listener. I listen to you guys every day. So we put a lot of time into all this, obviously. We do 2 hours live every weekday. So if there's a New Year's resolution that you want to let us know about, obviously shoot us a note on whatever social platform you follow us on or however you're watching. Get to us. So Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, whatever it is, we'll read some out in 2025. I'm trying to think if I have any significant resolutions.
No, I don't believe in them.
Yeah, it's not really my thing. Keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, keep grinding.
Yeah, keep grinding. Keep being real. Be nice to everyone. You never know what they're going through.
True.
And get ready for another big FT season.
And have fun with baseball. It's supposed to be fun.
It is supposed to be fun.
I know what my resolution is, to get Scott to talk about other sports. That's mine. Boom.
Oh, I told you. I've started getting a little better in December. I talk about Rutgers basketball. That's my safe place, like UF sports for you. So anyway, we got one more of these. We'll see you on the next one.